Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another review. This is another paid request, this time from OtakuGaming HD, who wanted my thoughts on the 2014 film Miss Meadows. Now, I had never heard of this film. And by the way, for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, commentaries, whatever it may be, feel free to send it. Either directly to my PayPal or through my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box, down below. But Miss Meadows came out in 2014, and I'm like, what is this film? I had never heard of it. It stars Katie Holmes. Now, Katie Holmes, she had not been seen for a long time. Probably since the days of like Phone Booth and some other films around 2003, give or take. Because she was with Tom Cruise, and I don't know all that went on with that. I don't. But this was an interesting film. It's a short film. It's only like 80, 90 minutes long. The setup is interesting. Like, the first 5 minutes is pretty... The first 5 minutes made me go, okay, I'm curious to see where this goes. Because you have Katie Holmes, who plays a character that's not all there mentally, and you find out later on as to why that's the case. Which I thought that was... Katie Holmes does a really good job, and she makes the film watchable to me. It does. Overall, I liked the film because of Katie Holmes' performance. I definitely think it's one of her best performances, by far. Because, like, the beginning, she comes out, she talks differently, like, very... I don't want to say sophisticated, but very... Like, she doesn't understand sarcasm. She's dressed up almost like a Disney princess. Almost like a little girl. But not in like a slutty, creepy way. But more in a... La 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 la. She'll tap dance on the sidewalk, and she'll look up and there's like a bluebird and there's a bunch of Bambis, you know, a bunch of deer going by, like a Disney film. And then some creep, this is the first 5 minutes, some creep goes by. Hey, how about you come on in? Oh, no, I do not accept. Like, the way she talks is not typical. And this also tries to pick her up and then tries to hold her up with a gun. Are you really going to fire that fire? I forget. Okay, I wish I could remember the exact way she said the dialogue, but something to the effect of, are you really trying to attempt to harm me? And she has her little purse, and she gets out her gun and shoots the motherfucker right in the neck. And then she kind of goes off her day. She's a teacher, she's nice, she's charming, but she's not quite there. And she's also a bit of a vigilante. Now, I say that it's not a big body count film, so it's not like Death Wish, or, you know, Death Wish 3 or anything. But it's interesting to see how this girl ticks as she gets into this love story with this sheriff. She'll say stuff like toodaloo, toodaloo, oh, toodaloo. How she tries to talk with the kids, and this one kid's, oh, life isn't fair, and how she tries to comfort them. I don't know, just the way she converses with people. And you try to figure, like, what is the deal with this person? Like, you know there's something not quite. And then you find out, and it's a bit of tragic. It makes me feel bad for the character. But at the same time, I do quite like this character. Like, there's a guy that moves in the neighborhood, and he's a felon who messed with little kids. And she just goes up into his place, sits down to have, like, tea, and then literally says, and by the way, listen, if you harm a child, you will be killed. It's like, oh yeah, well, who's going to kill me? You? Yes. okay, I did believe we reached an understanding. And like, at times, it's almost like in the back of her head, she knows she's a bit. Her wiring is a bit fried in certain places. All the wiring is not totally connected, but she's trying to do the best she can. And I mean, the love story is kind of cute. The sheriff was there. Maybe he's a little bit bland, but I mean, I've seen much worse. I could deal with him. And there's moments that I don't know if I want to give away. Like it's quirky, it's interesting, it's short, and Katie Holmes does a wonderful job. And funny enough, the director, I didn't recognize her name. I think she might have worked on that movie Step Bomb back in the day in the 90s with Julia Roberts. The director was an actress. She played Brenda in The Running Man. Who is that? The assistant to Richard Dawson's character. Remember, if you remember The Running Man, the scene where Richard Dawson, there's that janitor, and Richard Dawson, very nice. And then when he goes in the elevator, he's talking like, Brenda, if that asshole is mopping the floor by Monday, like, pretty much getting the guy fired. The girl he's talking to is Brenda, and that girl is the director of this movie. It's weird how where people go in life and in the career of Hollywood. I'm like, wow, a person who was in The Running Man went on to direct this film. Interesting. God, how do I do this without giving spoilers? I know a lot of people didn't like it. They thought it was an uneven tone between this quirky, almost like a Disney princess was a vigilante, like type of black comedy, but then you have more of the serious moments. I know a lot of people, like critics, thought it wasn't a nice blending. I didn't mind it. I thought it was interesting. I thought Katie Holmes held it together. The love story I thought was cute for what it needed to be. Maybe I didn't. I mean, I'm watching. I'm like, okay, I'm interested to see where it's going. There are a couple slow spots here and there in the middle, to be fair. But I gotta go into spoilers starting now. Just how I need to do it. The reason I liked it, I keep mentioning Katie Holmes' character, is I thought there's a lot of moments where you see the crack seeping in her psyche that makes, at least I did, made me feel sorry for her. Like, from time to time, she has these conversations with her mom, played by Jean Smart. Jean Smart, who was in, like, Designing Women and TV show, and she's been in other stuff, too. And it seems like they have a good relationship. And then you get these flashes that something happened when she was a kid that might have altered her perception. And I will admit, this did surprise me. I did not see it coming, so super spoilers. You kind of find out that her mom doesn't exist. She's been talking to someone that doesn't exist. And like, I thought that was done a lot better than some films. Like, they try to do something like that in Goodnight Mommy, this other film I watched and reviewed recently. I thought it was done better here, that fake out. Maybe some people would see it coming, but I didn't. I'm like, oh, okay. And the realization is sort of her, Katie Holmes, wanting to marry this guy. She's pregnant. She realizes she has to move on. She has to let go. And I thought Katie Holmes was very effective in her performance. It was a nice, sweet scene. And some people say it's right-wing, and that maybe that's why some critics didn't like it, is that it's very cut and dry on the people she kills. Well, yeah, for some people and some things it is. I mean, he kills a piece of shit that tried to deer in a car with a gun, or there's a molesting preach that she fucking shoots, or there's a guy in a diner that killed some people and he's like, "Baby, I go kill myself," and then she's like, "Yeah, you should." What? You saying that? Yeah, you should, so you can save the taxpayers money. And I liked her speech. I actually agreed with her speech, honestly, so maybe that says a lot about me. But I actually liked and agreed with her speech. I was like, "You know what? Maybe I changed my mind." And then she's like, "That's not an option." And then shoots him. And that's what I mean, like, if those moments, if you have few moments, make them count. And it's not gore and blood that makes it count. It's what Katie Holmes says, or how she behaves, or the type of person she takes out. I like that. I like when she says, "Yeah, maybe you should die," and "Maybe I changed my mind." That's not an option. I thought that was rather effective. And even the way it ends, I didn't mind it. And it's super spoilers, where it's their wedding day, but then that asshole who's a felon that used to hurt kids has her and this other kid hostage, and she saves the kid, and then the sheriff comes in and shoots the guy, and he's like, "Hey, you know what? He's got your gun, and his prints are on it." And he's a cop that finds out what she's doing, but at the same time, she's like, "You gotta stop doing this. Okay, I don't want to put you in jail, but I'll have to. But I still love you." And like I said, the actor, he's a little bit on the bland side. Again, I've seen much worse as I could deal with them, but I guess when you compare it to like Katie Holmes, who to me, the film was right on her shoulders. I think she did a very commendable job. And I was surprised, because Katie Holmes, honestly, to be fair, I'm not the most knowledgeable. I mean, I remember from, I didn't watch Dawson's Creek. I didn't watch that show, but she was in Disturbing Behavior. She was in, like, Phone Booth, as supporting role. But, I didn't see her in a lot of, like, big roles of that nature. And I'm like, wow, she did a commendable job in this and made the film worth a watch. There's a part of me that kind of wished at times it was as quirky as the beginning, because I would say the first 5 minutes is kind of the most unique part that stuck out to me. And maybe I wish there were other parts that had that sort of like Disney turned bad sort of thing in other parts of the film. And maybe there were people that wished that was the entire film, and that it didn't go into parts of like the love story between her and the sheriff and other stuff. But I could get that if that's what your preference was, but I still thought the film itself was a little bit underrated. I mean, I don't hear anybody. I had never heard of this film. When this came out in 2014, I never heard anyone talk about it. I mean, I thought this movie 8 years old. And I thought this was pretty decent. Pretty decent film. I don't know if it's a film I rewatch over and over again, but I went, what, this not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, hell, I liked it more than when Jodie Foster did that movie, The Brave One, or some of this other stuff. And I thought the way did Katie Holmes, when you find out about her, okay, that makes sense as to why she's doing this and why she acts this way, and I just, like I said, made me feel for the character, and in a way made me root for her. And sometimes that's all I can ask for a movie. If you're doing this for vigilante action, no. It's best to stick with like Death Wish 3. But for a nice character study and the showcase that Katie Holmes can act, it's worth a watch for that. So yeah, I liked Miss Meadows. So since I liked it, no one's going to see this review. But he didn't rant on it? Fuck it. But yeah, I would say it's worth a watch. Now that I've spoiled it, but I did warn people spoilers. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.